technical. Why is this turntable able to play such loud music without squashing it? The bad energy, you know how you sometimes put a record on and you have the volume down and you can hear the groove, you can hear almost the music sometimes. Where does that go? Think of it. It's not amplified at that point, so it goes through the platter, through the tone arm, through the thing, and it accompanies. So you got there's science to eliminate these things. But the problem is that we got so stuck in the sort of British-American 60s, 70s type of concept of three-point suspension and all that, and never came out of that more, that we didn't really do that job. And the design of this turntable sometimes told me something that was extraordinary. He said, I was fed up of playing Black Sabbath and Deep Purple, and then inconsciently, as it was getting louder, I was going to the volume control to turn it down, because you know the effect. It becomes a little bit shouty, a little bit screechy, and then inevitably your brain says, oh, I can't take this amount of compression and distortion. Well, all these can be eliminated, but it took an aerocraft engineer, because Reggie Mark was asked with his team to eliminate the resonance in the Airbus. So you can imagine somebody that can eliminate resonance in the Airbus can probably make a very good turntable. Anyway, now I'm going to go and before we put the gift record of the thing, I'm going to transport you to Germany in the 70s. And it's a very, very inspiring title. It goes, Sweet Smoke, Just a Poke. So really, it's a very inspirational album. It was discovered through my cousin, and he said, you can have a glass of whiskey if you don't have a poke around. So, but it is absolutely phenomenal. It's it's an American hippie community that moved to Germany. Don't ask me why, because maybe the forests or doesn't know. They moved, and amongst them there were musicians. And I assume, I was not there, so I can't tell you. It's I think it's a two-track album, so it's a very long, two long jams. So I'm not going to put you through the entire jam. But you're going to be able to see how nuts you can be when you're really happy together. Oi. So I'm not going to play you the whole jam because we'll probably be here till tomorrow morning. But again, just picture yourself, maybe some of you don't mind saying that they've had a poke sometimes in their life. So imagine yourself, a good glass of wine or a good double scotch, and you're jamming with those guys in the middle of a forest in the 70s in Germany. but the driver's got to pop out the speaker and come and address you. But here you go, that's what I want my systems to do. All my systems have to meet the breaking point level. They have to be able to be at that level where normally the system would break. Because then you can get happy with your friends or melancholic with your wife, and different levels of music, different times. So obviously this would be a late night fun. Again, if you ever gonna contemplate looking at it, I'm gonna give you a piece of advice. Only get the German EMI, because there's been repressors, there's been a French one that was catastrophic. So you go German EMI, and generally it's that color, that green color. And some shops might even give you a poke. I don't know, you know, if it's in an old shop, you might, and I have a poke at the same time. Anyway, so here we go. So here's the, I'm sorry, this one has seen a bit of play, and there's gonna be a bit of noise, but generally I'm always very suspicious of mint records, not in the classical domain, because classical people have respected their collection, but to find a mint of something 70s, most of the time it could be, sometimes it's not such good music. And because it wasn't played, this has been played. This is the German copy, this is the award copy for this album. For those who were not there before, I'm going to tell you the story of this album, because I was obviously working in the record industry, and my boss was the one that made this record happen. So I was very friendly here. I was working for Atlantic Records, Warner Brothers, and my boss was called Hamet Ertegun. Okay. My boss was called Hamet Ertegun, and I was quite close, not friends, but close to the Led Zeppelin crowd here in the UK. And Peter Grant, which then was really was a mobster, but the turned manager, rock manager, had the idea that Led Zeppelin had to go to America with a sound unequal before. So what he did, he invited, I think, Andy Kramer to do the mixing and the record. Andy Kramer was known to do really powerful mixes. And then when he got to the States, he don't know how it went. He asked Ahmet or whatever we did as a producer, as the manager of the band. He required that he would get cut by Robert Ludwig. And Robert did the master cutting. The problem is that he did cut it. It was not a problem, it was something really fantastic. He cut it so deep that when Ahmet took it back to his home and played it on the little danzette or whatever you call of his family, the record, whole lot of boom, boom, it came off the groove, boom, boom, boom. So Ahmet, I don't know, I was not there, so I'm just fantasizing now. Rang everybody, this cannot go to the shops, we cannot put it out, it's got, something is wrong with it. Obviously they didn't have the equipment we have now, you know, turntables with isolation, etc., etc. And it's much later that I discovered, I didn't know that story. I was working in Paris, nobody told me this story. It's much later that I found out that some of the albums sounded really powerful and energetic, and some others not as energetic. And so the legendary cut became the RL cut. And the RL cut is very difficult to get now. If you go on the web, it can fetch you £2,000-3,000 to get a good RL cut. You can get a mediocre one for £300, and I wouldn't advise to get a bad one, because obviously. This one is a German RL cut, and it's a half cut. So what does it mean? Did he cut it half? No. It means that for some reason it's only side one that's got the RL cut. So feel the energy of Zeppelin as Peter Grant had because I don't want to be sued by but anyway, that's what Peter Grant, and thanks Peter Grant to have gone to such an effort than to bring Led Zeppelin into America and show the Americans what a real band should sound like. Imagine when they got it, it must have been. So thanks Peter, thanks Andy, and thanks obviously Robert Ludwig for such an incredible cut.
Bravo.
So by the way, this specific album you heard can be won if you register at the front. And I'm going to do a draw, and I had a I already offered one at the previous show, and I was really very pleased. The gentleman came here at this show and said, you know, my wife died, and I received your album 2 days after she died, and it was the only pleasure that I got during this awful period. So it was very touching for me too. Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you.